Right, quick update. As you can see, I've stripped it out a bit more. Took the boxes off all the electrical cabinets off. There they are. Two of them. Right. While I've been sat around with this COVID-19 stuff that's going off, I've not been able to come to work. I've been in isolation because my granddaughter got it, so I've sort of been stuck at home and minimum going out. I'm saying I've not been to it. I've been a couple of times to get my mail, but no contact, and always come in the middle of the night sort of thing when no one's around. So this is the first time I've been let loose this week. So I've had a lot of time to think, been talking to people. I've had a little bit of interest in the machine, and I've sort of come to realise that this machine, when it's finished and done, I'm probably going to sell it, and whoever I sell it to is likely to going to be, which I've sort of always known, is going to end up in either sort of serious home user, man in his garage kind of thing, or some small business in a little industrial unit. So those sort of people that are going to have this machine, the space is limited that they've got, and they take quite a bit of room up with these VMCs. And this one in particular, the way it was laid out with the doors, the cabinets on the back and the cabinet on the side, it's sort of, that cabinet there which is on its side, it's sort of nearly, it's 4 foot tall and nearly 4 foot wide. Basically, you can see the column ends there, so it's stuck right out here, a good 18-inch past the back of that column. So, a bit of a waste of space really. And with me, well, it stuck out, and then there was one on the back that had the VFD or vector drive, and then a great big dirty power supply. So the cabinet in the back, it had that on it, that great big dirty vector drive on it, and it had that great big transformer in the bottom, 3-phase transformer with various outputs on it. And all that there was in this cabinet, I'll take you around here, that's the big cabinet that went on the side, that's the cabinet that went on the back, and all that was in that cabinet were those two items and one little board in the bottom. You've probably seen on the previous videos. So my plan is now is to fit it all just within this space. This is 18-inch, so I've got an 18-inch by 4 foot or over 4 foot space. So that's the sort of thinking, or was the thinking. I've revised my thinking a little bit today as I've been working on it. One of the problems with keeping it all in that space is, I'm sure there'll be enough room because all the modern equipment, the gear that I'm going to use, the modern drives, and I'm going to replace that vector drive with a VFD, a modern VFD. It'll still be a vector, closed loop vector VFD, but take a lot less room up than that. I should get it all in that cabinet because the controller that I'm going to use will all fit within there, because it's locked, but I can show you from the front. It will all fit in this housing there because the controller's all one. There's no PC involved, it's all built into it. So most of the controller side will fit in there. Might have to stick a power supply in here maybe, but majority of it's in there. So this just leaves the drives, an I/O board possibly, some relays, and the vector drive, and one transformer. I'm gonna have to get a step down transformer because those motors for the tool changer are 110 or 115 volt. There's two of them, so I'm gonna have to step those down. They're AC, they're not DC, but so I'm gonna have to step those down. So there'll be a little transformer, a step down transformer in there, but I reckon I can get it all in that space. Now, part of the plan is as standard, these Fadals, the way the coolant works is that tray there goes across the back and it drips into each side from within in the enclosure there. There's another one of those at the other side. So I'm going to have to modify that. Now, my original thinking was to keep the cabinet to this width so the machine can go right up to a wall at the back, but that makes that awkward. So while I've been working on it, I thought, rather than messing around making a new cabinet, I can use this one that came off the back, because that's 500 and that's 400. The column is 400, so it will stick. If I put it on the side, it will stick off the back 100mm, and it will stick off the back 100mm, which gives me enough room to put a piece between these and divert it into this tray, and so that full tray can stop up that side, and that one will divert to this, and it can all run in there. So that'll save me quite a bit of work. It means I won't have to make a cabinet for there or hack one of those up to fit on there. All it does mean is I've got 100mm sticking back further, so instead of being able to reduce its depth by say 450, I'm going to reduce it by 350. So it's not a big deal. It's still reducing it. But what it does do by doing this, by making the coolant tray go up the side and the cabinet on the side, it means it can all go into a corner, so it can all fit in the corner of someone's garage or workshop and take less room up. And it's still going to be like another foot less in depth, so it's not going to stick off the wall by another foot, which it all adds up. It's all in the right direction, and it's not a massive amount of work extra for me to do. The cabinet should just bolt on with a few more new holes in it. You can see where the old one fastened on there, it had some brackets, one there and one down there. So it'll just be a case of new holes or some brackets to fasten onto that, and then modify the trays, which take me about an hour. So not a big deal. So yeah, that's the plan. And when it's done, like I say, it will all be single phase, because your man in his garage is going to want single phase. So, and because I'm using the AC servos and stuff, they're all single phase anyway. It only left the spindle that wasn't. So it's a bit of a no-brainer really to do that. And I could even, to be honest with you, I could have left that on and run it on single phase. It will run single phase, but it derates it quite a lot. So that's why I'm choosing not to do it. I'll just sell that on to somebody who's got a Fadal. So that's the plan. I don't know if I've done much else since I last showed you. I think the only other thing I have done is I've took the ball nut disconnected from the bed there. I wanted to see what the ball nut was like and what it was like in here, and as you can see, it's nice and clean. That's just as it was. I've not touched it. The ball nuts feels lovely. I haven't measured it yet, so for any backlash, but I don't feel like there's any, so I'm pretty sure there won't be, but I will check it. These Belleville washers, they're actually a bump stop, so if it's bumped up at that end, it's bumped up at the other end. Well, it's actually at the ball nut. And you see the other end, and that's the other end up with the Belleville washers where it bumps up. The motor coupling, yeah, the motor coupling. You see how free it moves. It's a big lump of a table, is that, and it moves quite freely with just one hand. Not a lot of effort. I've done a bit around the back now, really. I've just again had a look. Now you can see the grease fittings there. Zerk fittings if you're an American. So I have considered maybe cleaning all those out and cleaning out the bone and what have you, and running them on oil, flushing them out and putting an oil pump on, self-lubing oil pump, but I don't think there's any need. They're easy got to, the grease fittings are easy got, accessible, same on the Z-axis. There's some up there somewhere, I don't know where they are, but there is some. They're all easy accessible when you do your maintenance on it. So, I seem to remember actually maybe I'm wrong, I thought it was on the side there, but oh, they are, yeah, there they are. There they go, on that box. So, as you can see, very easy to get to if you've got a step ladder or you're 6'10" tall, not a short house like me. There's nothing on this side, that's why it's going to be able to go into a corner, just the air, which I can move the air easy enough. Just move the bracket round to a different location on the other side. And that's it, so it's a bit of a no-brainer to do it. I was going to take all these cabinets off to paint the column anyway, so nothing lost if my plan after taking it apart didn't work out, but I'm pretty sure it's going to work out. So what we'll do now is we'll get that all cleaned up and tied and paint the column and the base. I'm not going to paint the cabinet, I don't think it needs it. We'll clean it up and polish it. I don't know if you've seen, but I'm in the motor trade as such, so we've got all the cleaning and valeting equipment that we need, so that's making it shine is not a problem. So yeah, I just want to get it done. I'm getting not frustrated, but I like to get it done. But at the moment with this COVID-19, I'm having to be careful with the money. We're not working, the motor trade side's shut down, so, and with me having to go in isolation anyway, there's no money coming in from that side of it, so I am being careful. And I'll be honest with you, there's not a lot of money coming in from this side either, so we have to be careful in these times. We'll get through it, but it's hard to see it sat here like this when I want to get on, but needs must and all that. I need to be honest, I'm gonna get all this lot cleaned up and see if I can get it sold off, because it'll go a long way towards the costs, helping out with the costs of the other stuff. I think I've settled on what I'm getting, but I don't know. I'm not going to say anything just yet. That's where the Y-axis motor came out of. You can just see the coupling in there. Not that dirty. As you can see, this machine, like I say, it's in reasonable condition. It's been stood over 5 years, and you can see that there's bits of surface rust, but it's not exactly. There's no rot. There's no deep penetration on the rusting spots, and what have you. Even on the machined areas, it's not just surface rust. So yeah, it'll make a lovely machine when it's done, especially it's got all modern gear on it, which rigid tapping and what have you. Still don't know if it's a 7,500 RPM or 10. Of course they do two models of this. I think it is the 10. Everything's indicating the 10, and I was told it was 10. But the majority seem to be 7.5, but I'm pretty sure it is 10. So, but it's definitely 7.5 at least. So I've had the spindle running. It's all nice, and the bearings sound nice. That noise you're hearing is a motorbike. It's not the bearings. There's a bike outside revving up. So yeah, like to see it done. Can't wait to see it done. Not going to want to sell it. I know I'm not when it's done. But again, I think needs and all. Money will come first, if I'm honest with you. Right, cheers.